Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Diplomatic Enclave. I'm your host, Khalid. But as you know, our show consists of different ambassadors that come from different countries of the world and are in Pakistan. We talk about cooperation. We talk about how they bring their country to Pakistan and how they forge the friendship, the relationship between their country and ours, that is Pakistan. Not only do we do that, we've also invited other people like photographers, like musicians. We've had classical musicians here. We've had photographers from different countries talk about how their art forges a relationship between their country and ours. Today is also no exception. We have with us two musicians from two different countries who got together, got married, and now they're here in Pakistan. Why are they here in Pakistan? What brings them to Pakistan? What do they feel about Pakistan and how they feel they could forge that friendship through their art, through their music in this country, in this beautiful country of ours? Let me introduce them to you one by one. On my very right is Paulo Vinicius. Paulo belongs to Brazil. Paulo, thank you very much to have come by. You're here on a very short visit, but we'll discuss it a bit later in the show.
Thank you very much for having us. It's a pleasure.
And with Paulo is Tania Wells. Tania, you're British, and you've come all the way from Europe to perform in Pakistan. And also, you have a very specific intention that we will get to know later in the program on why you're here. Thank you very much to be here.
Thank you for having us.
Paulo, let's begin with you. Why become a musician?
I think this was like something very natural. My parents loved music already and influenced us and motivated us to go in that way. So I found some instruments, and the guitar was the first instrument I found in my mom's room, actually.
You were 6 years old, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, you're right. Well, I had my first contact with music at 6 years old, and had already some teachers. We have conservatoire at that age already in Brazil. So I had this continuous studying for years in Brazil university, and then I went to Europe to do some masters in Western classical music, focused in performance in guitar, and that's it. Music is my life, and it's the way I connect to people.
When you talk of competitiveness, Paulo, in Brazil, it's a country that is very musically inclined. There's a lot of music, there's a lot of dance, there's a lot of color in Brazil, just like it is in Pakistan. You've got diversity in music as well. Is it difficult for a musician to come up in a country like yours?
That's a good question. I never really. I think yes. The answer would be yes, because you really need.
But you need to be really good for you to come up.
Yeah, you need to be really good. You need to have a high quality, and you need to be lucky as well. No,
all right.
Have the.
I think luck plays a very major role. Luck plays a role also in the way you come up. Luck plays a role in you coming all the way to Pakistan from Brazil, and luck plays a role in you meeting our next guest, that is Tania Wells. Tania, British singers are very renowned all over the world. We've grown up with the Beatles as well. We do listen to a lot of singers, even in this current age, that belong to the United Kingdom. What inspired you to start singing?
To start singing from scratch?
From scratch.
My goodness. I think, like Paulo said, music is something that comes very naturally. Similarly, I was also brought up in a household where music was often played, and my sisters and I would sing in harmony on the kitchen table, and we would compose songs together from a very young age. We would just, as play, just...
A little choir at the home.
Yes. I have a twin sister who also sings professionally, and an elder sister, and we would, even waiting for our bus on the way to school, to keep ourselves entertained, we would just sing in harmony together. So it was just, it's something becomes part of your life.
All right. And how were your teachers, when you told them that you were musically inclined, when they saw that you were musically inclined, you love music, who are your inspirations as teachers who pushed you towards the field?
Well, in terms of teachers, music teachers, I found great inspiration in teachers that I learnt from in India. So I learnt Hindustani classical music at the age of 17. I went to Mumbai, India, and I started at a music academy in a small village called Vaitarna, which is just near Thane, Maharashtra. And that was really my introduction to Hindustani classical music. And from that age, I just began listening to many different artists from the subcontinent, including artists that we now, we perform their songs today, like Mehdi Hassan Saab, like Shubha Gurtu, and all these wonderful artists that also come from this country.
All right, Paulo. When one's a musician, there's no language barrier, as they say. But was there one with you? Because when it comes to songs that are in your language, you understand them, you feel them, you understand the lyrics. But when it comes to songs that are in another language, it's a bit difficult to comprehend or understand them. Did it come naturally to you?
That's right. But my background is like studying the sound. Music, sound for me. So when you talk something in Urdu, even if I don't understand it, I know I can understand your intention on talking that. And so as music for me sound, I understand music as a sound. I can listen to Chinese music or Japanese or Brazilian music would be for me sounds, informations. You know? And Tania is the poet. She writes and this beautiful.
I think you write as well. You help her write.
Not really. No. Like sometimes I write something, but I limitate myself to Portuguese and a little bit of I can say like Yoruba, because we have Africans, as you know, in Brazil, and Europeans and native Indians. We are also like this mix, this blend of different races and cultures.
Whether it be Brazil, Tania, or it be your country, the United Kingdom, there are a lot of cultures, a lot of different nationalities that live together. How does that assimilation bring about an enrichment in the arts and in the music in particular?
Gosh, well, I mean, coming from a city like London, I think we're spoilt in that respect because it is so diverse. So, you know, it's easy for me to listen to someone like Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan in London, and maybe even attend a festival or a concert of Sufi music. So we're very lucky in that respect because there's such a diversity of culture in London. And in the UK, I mean, there's many touring artists from the world who tour the UK. But I was very lucky that I could actually watch live. You know, Abida Parveen, she came to London. And many artists can come and perform. So yeah, that's really a wonderful thing.
All right.
Yeah.
When was your first brush with the Asian or Pakistani music?
Well, I mentioned Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan, who I just completely adore. I think his music is so soulful, and I would listen to a lot of music from this country. And I think that there is so much soul and devotion in the music from Pakistan, which is very, one is drawn to it because it's very sincere, and one sings to God, you know, because it's devotional music. So I'm very interested in the rag. I'm interested in the melody, in the expression. But of course, when I started learning ghazals, again, the sound of Urdu is very beautiful with music. It marries to music very well. And I just also fell in love with the language as well.
All right. You say you fell in love with the language, but to fall in love with the language, not only is the intonation required, that love for the intonation, but also the love for the whole philosophy behind that language. Did you start to understand or learn the Urdu language at some time?
Yes, of course, there's similar words like dunya, and words that we hear a lot like ishq. And I will read the translation of every song, every Urdu song that I sing to make sure that I'm completely 100% sure about the meaning. And But yeah, I mean, it's a journey of learning for me, and I'm enjoying it.
All right,
Yeah.
Paulo, a journey of learning it was for Tania. How much of an interesting journey was it for you, and when did that journey include the Asian languages, particularly Urdu,
You mean musically?
musically?
Yeah, I think, yeah, I was always interested in also sounds from different parts of the world. And in 2015, especially when I met Tania, she introduced me to this beautiful Pakistani music world, you know, and now we are playing quite a lot, which is like something that I really enjoy doing.
All right.
Yeah.
Playing, not only are you playing quite a lot, but you also got married, Paulo. Tell us a little bit about how you guys met, because I was hearing that it was an arranged marriage. I mean, that is very alien to people maybe in the West, but how did that happen? How did you guys meet and got married eventually?
We met in a festival in Italy, and we were introduced to each other by friends, family friends. We jammed together one song, which is featuring this our first album that we recorded 3 months later after our meeting. And we decided there, okay, I think something new will come from this union, no?
All right.
And it was really powerful that we said, okay, let's marry.
All right. So the professional gave way to the personal. Did that, Tania?
That's right, yes. And we actually very quickly recorded our first album, which is called The Seed, which again is about, it's inspiring the source. So planting a seed that inspires growth. And in that we have composed all original music. We spent, maybe 5 months just writing and composing music, and then the other few weeks even just recording and getting it down. And yeah, we call this our first baby.
That's sweet. And when was the first baby born?
Well, it was officially launched in February of 2016. So we can say that's its birth date, because that's when it was launched. We launched it in London, and then we toured it around the UK, and then we went across to Europe. And yeah, really enjoyed playing before audiences of many different cultures, different languages. And we have 7 different languages in this album, including Urdu, including Portuguese, some of Paulo's compositions, English songs, and it's bringing together
Urdu.
all these different influences. And our band's name is called 7 Eyes, because we like to think of the idea of having different perspectives and sharing these different perspectives, or having different outlooks on things. And also this idea of the 7 continents kind of, having a presence and,
Trying to create a harmony and bridge between these continents.
All right.
Music.
This harmony and bridge between different continents, could you give us an example through
Sure.
a musical rendition?
Why not?
Should we do Jupiter?
Let's see what.
What would you like to perform for us? Could you tell us a little bit about it before you perform it?
Sure. So we'll perform a song from the album called Jupiter. And it is actually inspired by the Syrian migration crisis across Europe, where many Syrians were traveling across, having been uprooted, left their home in Syria. And this song is bringing together a Sufi sentiment, this longing to unite with the divine, and then it goes into French. And it goes into French because at the time we were writing this song, the Syrians were blocked at the French border and they weren't able to enter across into the UK. So in French, I say, "Tu ne comprends pas ce que je dis." You do not understand what I am saying. We come from far distant lands, and you see me as a stranger. And you'll understand the Urdu, so we can go.
All right, please. Wonderful.
Thank you.
I mean, it's an amalgamation of different languages. I could see that you began with Urdu, then you included French, then you went back to it. There is a different rags that you've included in it, and as far as the music is concerned, it's also a very it's music that is a fusion of different kinds of cultures, different kinds of music. How do the both of you bring that fusion together in a song? Paulo, let's start with you.
I think this is very natural because Tania has this background from classical music, no, from East, and I have the background from classical music from the West. And Tania sings not only Hindustani music, but also jazz. She likes to sing soul music, and she's very much influenced by the Western type of singers, no? And I have the Brazilian rhythms and stuff like that, and so this is very natural for us. It comes, we can hold that. We can, stop that.
Alright, Tania, when you begin working on a song, what is the whole process like? How do you begin from scratch?
Often it comes from, it can come in many different ways, but often it just comes from a feeling. So for instance, this song that we just played, it began with Paulo. Paulo was playing this wonderful melody on the guitar. And then it just comes with a jam. We have to, I start singing along to it. And then we start discussing maybe about the meaning and then, like I said, what was happening at the time we wrote the song. We were inspired by what we saw in the news. And we wanted to express our sentiments and our feelings about what is happening through the song. But sometimes a song will begin maybe with a poem. We also wrote songs whilst waiting hours in an airport when we were in the States, in the United States. And we ended up writing some songs which we will now record when we return to Brazil. But they just started as a poem, and then it just comes quite naturally. We will just start. I think the impulse is just to start with melody, and start with just infusing in the lyrics. There's no kind of ABC type of formula that we have. Everything just kind of flows.
Is there a theme that you begin with, or it just begins and then you add to it the lyrics that you want to?
Well, the Seed album is very much influenced by nature, and all of the songs refer to nature in some way, whether it's using nature as a metaphor to describe, say, a relationship, or just the beauty of nature. And nature is so inspiring in music. Music is nature, and nature is music, really. So, yeah, maybe a song can be influenced by nature.
A song I feel can be influenced by many different things, even your mood or something somebody has said, or how you've watched the news, like you said, the Syrian migration crisis. Do you feel, Tania and Paulo, that important issues like that of the Syrian immigration crisis can be more influenced in a positive way? You can find solutions through good music. Does that music bring people together to understand the philosophy or the pain of a person who's undergoing a situation such as the Syrian migration crisis? Paulo, I'll start with you.
Yeah, I think music has this power of communication, and music is universal. When you learn about some music from different parts of the world, you are learning from a different culture, and communicating to that people through that type of sounds that you can create as well. It's a very powerful thing, and as the world goes in a very kind of weird wave of separation, no, like we are splitting ourselves, we are getting weaker, no, like in the sense of humanity. We go in the different way. We want to unite. We
bridge humanity.
Yeah, we want to unite through music, if possible. We know that we are like very little to do something really big, but this is what we can do and what we believe. So I think music definitely has this power.
All right. Tania, when you meet singers from different countries, like from Pakistan, from India, from Brazil, from the United States, from countries that you don't know much about, what brings you to them? What attracts you to them?
It's really nice you asked this, because we have just come from Lahore, and we had the opportunity to sit with Ustad Shafqat Ali Khan Sab, who is a wonderful classical vocalist of the Sham Chaurasiya Gharana here in Pakistan. And, you know, when we met him, even he said, musicians are like family. Because when you sit and do music, you converse with emotions, you converse with poetry, you converse with things which are meaningful for the heart. And so immediately there's no formalities as such, because you know, the language is emotion. And so we were sitting together, and he was singing Rag Bahari, which is one of my favorite rags, and we were performing together, you know, just jamming. I was infusing some English lyrics in with the Tumri, which he was singing, and we were just enjoying. And I find that everywhere we go, whether it's Brazil or the United States or the UK or here in Pakistan, you know, it is just a joy to meet. I wouldn't even say just musicians, people, because everyone has some form of expression. You know, some people may want to express it with food, you know, and so then you share that joy. Or some people want to express it with hospitality, which is so wonderful. And so, you know, there's many different ways of just really just expressing wholeheartedly.
And you express it through music. So what is the next piece that we're going to listen of that expression of music? Tania, Paulo, what is...
So I think we will perform a wonderful song originally sung by Mehdi Hasan Saab. This is Duniya Kisi Ke Pyar Mein, Jannat Se Kam Nahi.
Can we stop here just because...
बुलबुल ने गुल से गुल ने बहारों से कह दिया बुलबुल ने गुल से गुल ने बहारों से कह दिया एक चांद भी के चांद ने तारों से कह दिया दुनिया किसी के प्यार में जन्नत से कम नहीं दुनिया किसी के प्यार में जन्नत से कम नहीं एक दिलरुबा है दिल में जो हूरों से कम नहीं दुनिया किसी के प्यार में तुम बादशाहे हुस्न हो हुस्न जहान हो तुम बादशाहे हुस्न हो हुस्न जहान हो जाने वफा हो और मोहब्बत के शान हो जाने वफा हो और मोहब्बत के शान हो जलवे तुम्हारे हुस्न के तारों से कम नहीं दुनिया किसी के प्यार में is no less than heaven. The world for lovers is no less than heaven.
Beautiful. The world for lovers is no less than heaven. Paulo, Vinicius, Tania, Wells. We continue our conversation, but after this short break on which we will talk about what more is in store when it comes to music from this couple. After a short break, stay with us. And welcome back. You're watching Diplomatic Enclave, and we continue our conversation with the two lovely musicians from Brazil and the United Kingdom, Paulo Vinicius and Tania Wells. Now, Paulo, a bit before in the program, we were talking about your stint in Lahore, that you were in Lahore where you met Ustad Shafqat and you kind of jammed together. You were also there at the Faiz Mela that happened a few days back. How was your experience? I'd ask the both of you. First with you, Paulo.
Incredible. It was amazing. An amazing festival. We were really impressed. We didn't expect that it would be so big, so crowded. You know, like we had a very warm response from the public. The audience were really beautiful and all that.
It was wonderful, and you know they had these 3 halls, discussions happening in one, performances happening in another. You could choose what you wanted to go to see. There was a delicious food court area, and yeah, performing there was, we're going to remember that for I think our whole lives. It was an absolutely astonishing audience. I mean, they were so warm, so encouraging, so loving, and yeah, we were warned that Pakistanis are very, very loving and giving, but we had, I mean, it was just so wonderful, really lovely to perform there.
When one gets in the midst of people that embrace you and your art or your music with open hearts and embrace you as people as well from different cultures, how does that reflect on your music, Tania?
Well, I mean, the most moving part for me was singing Sufi music because we sang Man Kunta Mola and then we ended with Lal Miri. So, I felt goosebumps just whilst performing because I knew that this is the place where the music lives. I mean, it's living here. So. The energy when you sing this music, it's just electric. I mean, I've always been a fan of Sufi music, but to actually come to Pakistan and sing it here is a whole different experience. It was really electrifying and very moving. It was just beautiful.
All right, Paulo. How did the audience kind of lap it up when you were singing or when the both of you were jamming together? How many of encores did they ask, the both of you?
Actually, the schedule of the festival is really tight. You have many activities happening at the same time, and even for us that we were playing and talking, also we had an interview there. We wanted to watch different things at the same time. It was kind of complicated. So they have the timing, exactly time you need to perform, so you can't really extend.
You can't stretch it too much.
But it was so I never saw like that. I can tell you. Like the audience were like, they were so
present.
enthusiastic.
Yeah, they were just present.
Yeah.
Like listening to your every expression, and then oh my gosh, Lal Miri was just topped it because then everyone just wants to really enjoy, and so you can just hear the whole crowd almost singing along with you. It's wonderful.
Beautiful. So what are you going to perform for us next?
This next song is called River, and it's introducing this Brazilian rhythms, which you'll see Paulo play on the guitar. And the song is about the rivers all meeting, joining together and becoming one in the ocean.
All right.
Laying down by the riverside, feet in the water, worries passing me by. Oh Lord, now I have been waiting long for the cool to drench me like the golden sun at noon. Wash all my troubles away. Tell me your love is here to stay. Carry my soul like a sinking stone. Make the bed of your banks my home. Oh, river, carry the vessel of my dream. Oh, river, journey it down to the sea. You giving life to all. You go your own way to run to unite with them all. All the streams to the sea. Oh, river, carry the vessel of my dreams. Oh, river, journey it down to the sea. To the sea. To the
This is beautiful. This is very uplifting, Tania and Paulo. It kind of elevates your mood if you're sad or depressed, and you kind of see the light at the end of the tunnel. That is what you feel through the music and
Oh,
through the
good.
lyrics.
Glad
I
you
think
feel
this
that.
also was your intention, wasn't it?
That's right. Yeah, that's really nice that you feel that. Really good.
When you perform, Paulo, in different parts of the world, do you feel the same connection, or is the reaction from your audience different depending on the place where you perform?
I think it depends on the place you are performing, but not only that. It depends in the mood you are. You know, how tired or how much energy do you have to give. If the place, you know, if the organizers gave you like a really good conditions to feel, you know, good. No, I think it's many things involved. I think the performance has these, you know, it's kind of, you need to be prepared to that moment. And not only physically, you know, like the physical place, but also the psychological, you know, and also emotionally, you need to also like be okay.
Tania, do you connect to your audience, as Paulo said, that it depends on the mood that people are in, if they're tired or not? If they're tired, do you, as musicians and audience, connect to kind of be one when the concert is going on?
I think for me as the singer, my role is to be the storyteller, and I have to convey the mood or the subject or the lyrics. I have to tell the story. We have to do that with the music, of course, and all of the musicians have to do that. But if you are expressing lyrics and you really want to convey that emotion, you can't. If you're tired, no, you don't show that. You just go for it and you tell the story. And I see performance in a more theatrical way in that sense. And having studied theatre, I really embrace the characterization of a song as well, and bringing it to life in that sense, in that drama, in that theatre, and really sort of, you know, give it some life.
Yeah, but I can tell you that it's really different performing here in Pakistan and places like Germany, for example. I lived in Germany and I performed quite a lot.
We had a great time in Berlin.
No, that's right. You know, like
maybe it depends on the people, on how warm they are, or how they accept the music and the lyrics.
Yes.
Yeah, no,
and that is why you feel maybe more at ease or comfortable in a place like Pakistan. You performed at the Islamabad club. You were invited by Kuch Khas to Pakistan. When you got the invitation, were you surprised?
That was a very nice invitation. It happened very spontaneously. We were actually invited by the Fez International Festival to come to Pakistan. So, you know, thanks to Moniza Hashmi and all the people who organized that festival, we were able to come and really witness this beautiful audience that is present here in Pakistan. And also to visit Islamabad is so wonderful. It's beautiful with the mountains, and also, you know, it's great to perform with local musicians here. We're performing with tabla, bansuri, violin. All of these are local Lahori musicians. And it's a privilege to perform their music with them as well. You know, for us to perform their traditional cultural music, and then also for us to play our own music with them and create something new for them. And that's really enjoyable to see their reactions to our music, and to see that, you know, we can actually create something together that's very new and fresh, and that's what we enjoy a lot.
When we talk about creating something new and fresh, in your album you've got people from more than 5 different countries that have come together to make music for this album that is your first. How interesting, easy or difficult has the experience been?
I think it's an experience, really. Like and it's not difficult, because when you want to do something, you know, you just do it without thinking so much. But we had the lucky to have amazing artists from different parts of the world, and including a Pakistani tabla player, Ustad Shabazz Hussain. And a Sufi singer that lives in Colombia, Anandita Basu. So it's like we like to call Seven Eyes not as a band or a group, but a collective. No, we work with different musicians, and we exchange our experiences. No?
All right. Speaking of exchanges and experiences, your Islamabad experience, as you were telling me, was quite good, and the response from the public was quite appreciative, enthusiastic and warm. Can we see a future collaboration with Pakistani artists, musicians, Tania?
Inshallah, we're very, very open to the idea, so let's see what happens. I mean, you know, so far it's just been wonderful to meet so many very, very talented musicians here. So of course we would like to collaborate and make more music, record more music, and also share this music to other parts of the world, because there's so much richness in music here that, you know, obviously the world can really enjoy it as well.
All right. Paulo, will you be returning to Pakistan?
For sure.
All right. And Tania, finally, before we go to the last piece that has been the biggest hit on YouTube, Uh, what kind of message does music convey to people of other countries? You belonging to the United Kingdom, Paulo belonging to the Brazil, you getting together, getting married of course, and also working professionally together, and then bringing that music to different countries of the world. How does music bridge countries and cultures and civilizations?
I think we could be here for a very long time if we really wanted to go deep into it. But to answer it in a short sentence or so, I would say music is a language of the heart, and therefore it is, in a sense, boundaryless, because we all have hearts. We all are emotional beings, and music speaks to us in a very intimate and soulful way, or it should do anyway. And so because of that, we can transcend cultural barriers, language barriers, identity barriers, because, we're talking about something that is actually very simple. Like Paulo was saying, it is the art of sound. And even animals respond to sound, If you sing we were recently in Switzerland, and there was a field of cows, and I just felt inspired to sing to the cows, as you do. But they all gathered like a herd, and they all had their ears like this, and it was so beautiful because I was connecting to the cows, and what I mean to say is that music is a very simple and subtle device to just touch something, someone, a being, and we all can experience that art, that sensitivity.
That sensitivity, Paulo, does it make new friends around the world? Does it bridge relationships between people?
Yeah, definitely. There are many people that want to also build that connection, and we know many of them actually, and I think musicians in general, they are like that.
All right, so musicians are kind of ambassadors of their different countries, and they bring their love, their music, their art to other countries and bridge that relationship between their countries and others. In this case, it has been Pakistan, Brazil, and the United Kingdom that get together, that have gotten together in Lahore and in Islamabad. And I wish and I do hope that you will continue to bring that music together in the weeks, the years to come, and that we, Paulo, listen to more compositions that might involve Pakistani musicians and classical singing and more Urdu poetry in the coming albums that you might take out. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Tania Wells and Paulo Vinicius bringing to you music from the world, from South America and Europe to Pakistan, bridging that relationship and friendship between these countries. After all, aren't these ambassadors, and aren't we, through our program Diplomatic Enclave, promoting that friendship between countries? We need that friendship, we need that love, we need that togetherness for the world to be a better place. I'll end, before they go to that musical piece, with a quote from the BBC that talked about their music. They said, "It's uplifting, it's mesmerizing, it's everything that you want music to do." Go ahead and please perform for us the last piece of the show that has been the biggest hit for you on YouTube and also on concerts. What is it, Tania?
This is Aamir Faiz, Golo Mein Rang Bhare.
Again. Sorry.
golo